Now we're recording. What's up guys, James Grage here. Today we are talking about building bigger arms. Now we've talked about building big biceps in past videos, so today we're going to talk about the other side of the equation, which is building big triceps. So just want to throw it out there real quick. If you hear any weird noises, that's because we're in the BPI Sports Training Facility, which is in our warehouse. So if you hear forklifts going by, that's what's going on. I'm not at Costco, although that'd be an awesome video. I also brought my boy Bones in here because he's going to help us out with some stuff. So let's jump right into it. So let's talk triceps. Well, most of you know they're called triceps because there are 3 muscle bellies. So let's talk about those real quick. The first one here, if I flex, this is going to be the lateral head of the triceps. All right. In the back, you see this one back here? That is your long head of the triceps. And then the third one's called your medial head. And you don't actually really see it because it's buried underneath the long head of the triceps. Today we're going to talk about the lateral head mainly and the long head because those are the 2 different areas that you can really target development in. The medial head's going to get work no matter what, so let's first talk about the long head of the triceps first because this one is different than the other 2 muscle bellies. So, or other 2 heads of the muscle is the way you would refer to it. In past videos, actually it's video number 2 in advanced training techniques, we talked about length tension relationship. Now this is important. I encourage you to go and watch that video, but here's the long and the short of it. That's a little like play on words, not that funny, but kind of funny. So, a muscle in a shortened state is going to be relaxed. Hard to get a peak contraction with a relaxed muscle. So, to get a peak contraction, what we want to do is stretch it just slightly. So, long head of the triceps, how do we do that? Well, the first thing we need to understand is where the muscle originates from and where it inserts. So, what makes the long head of the triceps a little bit different than the other 2 is that it originates from the back of the scapula versus the humerus, which is your upper arm bone, for both the medial and the long head. Oops, sorry, the medial and the lateral head. Long head from the scapula, medial and lateral from the humerus. So the fact that it attaches up on the scapula here makes it a polyarticulate muscle. What does that mean? That's just a fancy way of saying that it crosses 2 joints. And what that's going to also assist in is pulling your arm down towards the side of your body like this. So anytime you're doing, say, a lat pull down, believe it or not, you're using a little bit of triceps. So why is this all important? Why does this even matter at all? Well, this is how we're going to target the long head of the triceps. Bones, your arm is all kind of funky here. There we go. Okay, like I talked about before, getting back to it, got a little sidetracked. It's about length tension relationship, so we want to stretch the muscle slightly. So to do that, if it originates here on the scapula, back here on the back of the forearm, your ulna, this is a relaxed position, this is a neutral position. If I were to move my arm in front of me, say like I would in a close grip bench press, which is a compound movement for your triceps, I'm going to be stretching that muscle slightly. Now if I were to raise it even a little bit higher, like if I was laying on a bench doing skull crushers, it would stretch it even more. Maximum stretch is going to be if I raise my arm over my head, like if I were to do a dumbbell overhead extension or a cable overhead extension. Let's talk about the lateral head. We know how to target the long head. That's raising our arm over our head or even putting our arms in front of us to stretch that long head. So how do we target the lateral head? Well, it's a little tricky, but not tricky. Actually, the answer is almost the exact opposite of what we talked about. Because the muscle originates here in the humerus, not on the scapula, it only crosses, come on muscle, cooperate. All right, it only crosses the elbow joint. So no matter how I move my arm, it doesn't change the length of that muscle at all. I can put it in front, overhead, it doesn't change anything. The only thing that changes is my arm position here at the elbow, whether there's flexion or extension. So if I can't really change the length of the muscle on the lateral head, well then how do I target it? Well, it's getting the long head of the tricep to relax a little bit, take it out of the equation, so to speak. So how do we do that? Well, we know that if we want to create tension or length in that long head of the triceps, we want to stretch it. So to do the opposite, we want to put it in a relaxed position, which is going to be in this neutral position with your arm at your side. Now with the long head of the triceps in this relaxed position, it allows us to target or focus more on the lateral head. So what kind of exercises do we want to do for the lateral head? Well, anything with our arm at our side. Elbows tight to our side, so that's going to be, say, a rope push down. What I want to see in a triceps push down with a rope is your body nice and upright. In order to do that, you got to keep your chin up. Wherever your face or your chin goes, your body follows. If I look down, more than likely, my body's going to go down as well. So keep your chin up, stay nice and relaxed. Want to keep your arms at your side, elbows tight to your side. All right, so that's step number one. Don't swing, don't do anything crazy, just elbows tight at your side. The other thing, going back to what I talked about before, is hand position. When I see most people do these, what I see, if I exaggerate this by sticking my thumbs out, really so you can see the orientation of my hands here, I see people do this. In other words, they're pushing just straight down. But what you want to do to really target that lateral head is you want to get a turn in your hand. So you want this knuckle of your pinky coming up and you want your thumb going down. So what's that going to look like? Well, instead of just pushing straight down, I want to get my thumbs in like this, pointing towards each other. So it's going to be this rotation, right? Almost imagine taking that rope and then pulling it apart. That's what you want to focus on. So down, pull it apart, try to get your thumbs down and that knuckle on your pinky nice and high. That's going to get you that nice squeeze and contraction on the lateral head of your triceps. That is triceps in a nutshell. You notice I actually tried to take all this and combine it into one video. It's a little bit longer than past videos. I apologize, but I'm actually doing it for you guys because before with biceps and the brachialis and brachioradialis, I split it up into multiple videos. But I want to get through this information faster for you guys so you guys have more and better information and you can apply it into your workout sooner. Which leads me to the next topic of conversation, which is this next video. And what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take everything that we learned in the biceps videos and everything that we've learned here for triceps, and we're gonna bring it all together, but we're gonna do it in a fun way. Instead of being all nerdy like I like to do, that's, you know, I kind of geek out, that's the name Muscle Geek. Instead of being nerdy with bones here, we're just gonna come out into the gym and you guys are gonna train with me. It's just gonna be us, no one else. Just gonna drag you around through my workout, through my biceps and my triceps routine. So we're gonna talk about exercise selection, how many sets, how many reps, and little tips, tricks on the technique on some of these exercises. We talked a little bit about the triceps push down with the rope. We'll talk about things like that. So that's the end of our video on triceps. Tune back in next week. Like I said, we're gonna hit a cool workout. We'll make it fun, I'll make it quick. You know, if you guys have suggestions on how I make these better, I'm just trying to get back into this. I haven't done videos in a long time. It's just been the last couple months that I've been jumping back in. I did this way back in like 2009. And then when I started BPI Sports, I got really busy and, you know, I've got 2 kids at home and a wife and just crazy chaotic life, and so I stopped doing videos. And I always kind of regretted it. I wanted to jump back into it, so I'm doing that now, but I'm rusty and I could use your help. So any feedback that you have for me on how I can make these more useful for you, better information, please leave the feedback below. I'll take it to heart and I'll try to incorporate it into these videos. And that's it for now, so I'll see you guys next week.